sources, all focused on one thing, this ultimate branding course, or UBC.
Right.
And your request was pretty clear. You wanted us to go way beyond just the sales pitch and really look at the whole package they're offering.
Exactly. Our mission today is to be your critical filter. We're digging into the content they claim to have, the surprisingly intense support system.
And that master resell rights thing?
And the MRR component, yeah. But also the psychology behind it. We're trying to find those little nuggets that explain why this course, in a really crowded space, seems to have resonated so much.
We have to start with their opening shot, because the
Yeah.
promotional material comes out swinging. It's a massive flex.
It is.
They state right up front that UBC is nothing like the other courses you've seen.
And that's not just, a marketing line. That's a deliberate attempt to put themselves in a whole different category in your mind.
It feels targeted.
It's highly deliberate. I think they're going after the experienced buyer, maybe someone who's a bit jaded.
Someone who's already bought a course or two.
Yeah, and they opened it up and just found, recycled templates and vague ideas. So by saying we're the opposite of the fluff, they grab credibility with an audience that's already cynical.
And they get really specific about that fluff, don't they?
They do.
They're talking about that common complaint where you pay for what's basically just motivational cheerleading instead of actual step-by-step instruction.
No, you can do it without the here's how you do it.
Right. The course claims its content is 100% unique, original, and created by actual industry experts.
And that claim of 100% unique content is a fascinating psychological move.
How so?
Well, think about it. Branding and social media, the fundamentals are pretty established principles. It's almost impossible to verify if foundational knowledge is truly unique.
Right.
But the promise of it, that's what targets the buyer's fatigue with the same old curriculum. They're selling differentiation, not just information.
Okay, so let's pivot to what they say they actually deliver. When you pull back the curtain, the curriculum seems to move away from just generic business advice.
It does.
It centers the whole process on the individual learner, on you.
Yeah.
That personalization seems to be a huge part of its success.
It's the essential modern stack. They break it down into 5 core areas, but if you look closely, they're not just teaching you technical skills, they're trying to build in resilience.
So what are those 5 areas?
Okay, so they are your brand, your message, your social media strategy, your confidence, and your ability to attract and convert buyers organically.
Let's just pause right there, that list. Why is your confidence right there next to something technical like your social media strategy?
Right.
Well, it's unconventional.
Because it speaks directly to the reality of being an entrepreneur online today.
Okay.
Success in branding isn't just about gaming an algorithm. It's about showing up day after day and overcoming all that self-doubt and noise. The people who made this seem to understand that most people burn out not because their strategy was bad.
But because their confidence just disappeared. Their emotional resilience.
Exactly. So by making confidence a pillar of the course, they're promising a holistic solution to market burnout.
So the product basically admits that the biggest hurdle isn't knowing what to post, but actually finding the will to choose to post, despite being afraid or worried about judgment.
Precisely. It's an integrated approach. You need the technical know-how, sure, but you also need the mindset coaching to actually follow through.
Okay, so we've got the core skills.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have to get into the feature that gets the most attention and probably the most scrutiny,
The master resell rights.
the MRR component. And the source materials, they frame this as a totally optional addition.
And this is where we need to get a bit technical, beyond the marketing phrase.
Please?
Master resell rights, or MRR, is a very specific type of license. You pay one upfront fee for the product, in this case the UBC course, and in return, you get the right to resell that exact course to other people forever.
And the big financial draw is that you, the seller, keep 100% of the profit from every sale you make, right?
That is the core attraction. It's not like affiliate marketing where you get a percentage. With MRR, you keep everything.
So it turns the student into an instant salesperson for the product they just learned from.
It does, and that creates this incredibly powerful incentive. The course itself becomes its own financial strategy.
But here's the question. If the main goal is teaching you branding skills, doesn't adding an MRR component automatically shift the focus to just selling the course itself? How do they deal with that apparent contradiction?
They are very, very meticulous about how they frame it. They even give it a name.
Right, the Smart Girl Side Hustle Edition.
Exactly. That makes it sound like an extra income stream, something completely optional. And they're very clear in stating that most people join for the branding skills first. The education is the driver. The reselling is just a really lucrative bonus.
Let's break down that branding choice for a second. Smart Girl Side Hustle. Why that gendered trademarked name?
It's precision marketing. It's targeting a very specific demographic.
Women? Maybe moms or professionals?
Exactly. Women looking for flexible secondary income that feels intelligent and efficient. The gendered language builds instant relatability. It's not about general entrepreneurship. It's about a curated, accessible path to financial freedom that fits around your life.
And that accessibility is tied to the scope they promise. The sources really highlight that you can run this business from anywhere globally.
Absolutely. The course is available right away in 5 languages.
English, Spanish, French, Portuguese, and German.
And that's not just about, access. It's a promise of market saturation. It lets the learner immediately go after these big non-English speaking markets.
And maybe the biggest draw for a lot of people is the promise of making an impact without having to be a public figure. The ability to build a profitable global business, quote, even if you're faceless.
The faceless brand idea is so critical. It solves a huge problem for so many would-be entrepreneurs.
The fear of being a public person.
The reluctance, yeah. In practice, a faceless brand uses certain mechanics. White-labeled content, high-quality stock video, maybe AI-generated stuff. It's about focusing on the product, not your personal life. It promises the financial perks of being an influencer without the pressure.
So the course is teaching you how to build conversion strategies that rely on the quality of your message, not your personal charisma. That has to be a huge appeal for introverts.
Or just people who value their privacy. It's a deliberate counter-narrative to all the "you have to show your face to succeed" advice you see all over social media. It tells the learner that it's okay, you can protect your comfort zone and still reach a huge market.
Okay, let's shift from the content itself to the support environment. The source materials have this line that's really powerful. It says, people don't just buy courses.
They buy community, clarity, and freedom.
Yes, which suggests the ecosystem around the course is just as important as the curriculum.
The support structure might be the most significant part of the whole offer. The second you enroll, you're in the community, you have support channels. But what's really, truly remarkable is the frequency of the live interaction.
Tell us about that frequency, because it really does stand out compared to other courses that just have, like, a passive Facebook group.
The commitment is 4 live sessions every single week.
4.
4. That's 3 weekly mindset calls to keep you grounded and 1 weekly Q&A session so that, as they say, the learner is never stuck. That level of guaranteed live support is incredibly resource-heavy to maintain.
3 weekly mindset calls. That's a lot.
Yeah.
It suggests they believe the emotional work and the motivation needed to build a brand is maybe 3 times harder than the technical side.
Exactly. It's a recognition that learning the steps is useless if you get bogged down by imposter syndrome or just lose momentum. The community is basically your low-cost accountability coach.
So the mindset calls are there to stop you from quitting when you hit that inevitable slump.
The slump that comes with building any business, yeah.
And looking at who's in this network, the source describes this really diverse group. You have creators, students, moms, retirees, people with 9-to-5s, influencers. It's a broad net.
And that diversity is a core part of the value. It proves the methods they teach can be applied by anyone. If a strategy works for a retiree and a full-time influencer, it suggests the system is robust.
It's not about your specific background. It's about the system itself.
Right. The system is the engine.
We've covered the technical side, the community side. Let's finish up with the emotional appeal, which is very, very targeted in their marketing. This is aimed squarely at someone who wants a transformation, not just a transaction.
The language definitely shifts. It moves into this realm of deep personal yearning. It talks to people who are praying for direction.
Or asking for a way out.
Yes. That language positions the course not as just another business tool, but as the answer to a really personal plea for change.
And they solidify that connection by tying it all to this very attractive lifestyle goal.
Yeah.
The chance to build a quiet, peaceful, faceless brand from your phone.
It's the ultimate vision of low-stress, modern entrepreneurship, isn't it?
It really is.
The quiet, peaceful part is a direct rejection of that high-stress, always-on hustle culture. They're selling tranquility right alongside profitability.
And the final line of copy we saw, it's this dramatic call to action. It's about self-empowerment. Freedom begins the moment you say, I deserve better.
It reframes the purchase.
How so?
You're not just buying a curriculum, you're performing an act of personal liberation. You are validating your own desire for a better future, and that makes the decision feel emotionally urgent.
So if we step back and pull it all together, what we see with the Ultimate Branding course is this carefully built duality.
Right.
On one hand, you have a claim of 100% unique, expert content focusing on branding and confidence. And on the other, you have this unparalleled level of live community support, those weekly calls, plus the optional MRR structure, the Smart Girl side hustle.
What our deep dive really reveals, though, what makes it so different is that blend. It's a unique mix of purely practical business teaching with this deep, personal, almost spiritual coaching.
Yeah.
The materials end with this really powerful, holistic message. It says, believe in your dream, invest in your growth, and trust that God handles the rest.
That's the ultimate synthesis, isn't it? Motivation and execution. The course doesn't just promise you tools, it promises a whole belief system to support you while you use them. It's a life transition framework, not just a skills course.
And that brings us to a final critical thought for you, the learner, as you look at any of these high-value educational products. Think about this course's massive emphasis on guaranteed scheduled support. Those 3 mindset calls and the weekly Q&A.
Okay.
When you really factor in the pressures of building a brand today, is it possible that access to that constant accountability, that community structure, is that actually more important for your long-term success than the curriculum itself?
That's a great question. Think about it carefully. What do you truly value most when you invest in yourself? Is it the information you get? Or is it the network and the accountability that force you to keep showing up, to stay grounded, and to protect that crucial confidence? Answering that will tell you if a course like this is really aligned with your path to freedom.